The campfire crackles under a clear midnight sky. Just you and your horse, alone on the plains. Old men tell stories about this place. This video is all about ghost stories of the Old West and why they remain so powerful. Welcome to Phantom Astronaut's Midnight Mystery School, where we journey into the eerie corners of history and the unknown. Before we begin, if you enjoy delving into these haunted tales, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Your support helps us continue our exploration into the strange and mysterious, and it brings these dark histories to life. Now, if you're ready, let's saddle up and ride into the haunted frontier. The American Old West, a time of pioneers, gunslingers, outlaws, and prospectors seeking their fortune. It was a time of harsh living, lawless towns, and violent ends. But amidst the legends of Jesse James and Billy the Kid, there is another story that lingers, the story of restless spirits. The ghost stories of the Old West are a unique part of American folklore, blending the harsh realities of frontier life with the supernatural. From abandoned mining camps to eerie saloons, tales of ghostly apparitions and haunted places have endured through the years, passed down from one generation to the next. But why do these ghost stories persist in modern media? Why do we still find ourselves drawn to the haunted echoes of the frontier? Perhaps it's because the Old West itself was a land of extremes, a place where life and death often hung in the balance. The brutal conditions, the violent conflicts, and the lawless nature of the frontier created the perfect environment for ghost stories to take root. In a place where so many died untimely deaths, it's not hard to imagine that their spirits might linger, trapped between worlds. Let's explore 3 of the most famous ghost stories from the Old West, each one offering a glimpse into the haunted legacy of the American frontier. Tombstone, Arizona, a town famous for its lawlessness and violence, the site of the legendary gunfight at the OK Corral. But beyond the shootouts and saloons, there is a darker, more haunted side to Tombstone's history. At the heart of this ghostly legacy stands the Birdcage Theater. Built in 1881, the Birdcage Theater was a place of gambling, drinking, and debauchery, attracting the roughest characters of the Old West. It was said that over 140 bullet holes could be found in the walls and ceiling, a testament to the violence that regularly erupted inside. But it wasn't just the living who left their mark on this theater. Stories of ghostly apparitions have persisted for over a century. Many visitors and employees have reported seeing the figures of men dressed in 19th century clothing, silently watching from the balconies or wandering the stage. Some claim to hear disembodied laughter, voices, and the sounds of phantom footsteps echoing through the empty building. One of the most famous spirits said to haunt the Birdcage Theater is that of a former prostitute named Margarita. She was murdered by a jealous lover during a card game, and her restless spirit is said to linger, with some claiming to have seen her figure moving through the shadows late at night. But Margarita isn't the only ghost said to haunt the Birdcage. The theater is also home to the spirits of the gamblers and outlaws who met their end in violent altercations. Some even say the faint sound of a piano can still be heard playing in the dead of night, despite no one being near the stage. The Birdcage Theater has become one of the most haunted locations in the United States, drawing paranormal investigators, ghost hunters, and curious visitors eager to catch a glimpse of its ghostly inhabitants. Fort Laramie was once a key military post on the frontier, protecting settlers, travelers, and soldiers from the dangers of the untamed West. Established in 1834, the fort witnessed countless battles, skirmishes, and untimely deaths. But there is one spirit said to wander the grounds of Fort Laramie, a spectral figure known as the Lady in Blue. The legend of the Lady in Blue tells of a woman dressed in a flowing blue gown, forever searching for her lost love. Some say she was the wife of a military officer who died during a conflict with Native American tribes, while others claim she was a settler whose fiancé was killed in a skirmish. Her grief, it seems, has bound her to this world, and she is said to appear at the officers' quarters, her pale face illuminated by the moonlight. Witnesses have described seeing the Lady in Blue wandering the empty halls, her gown trailing softly behind her, her expression one of sorrow and longing. She is often seen standing near the windows of the officers' quarters, gazing out into the distance, as if waiting for someone who will never return. Some visitors have reported feeling a cold breeze sweep through the room when she appears, despite the windows being tightly shut. The Lady in Blue is a reminder of the personal tragedies that unfolded on the frontier, where lives were often cut short by violence, illness, and isolation. Her story has become part of the haunting legacy of Fort Laramie, and her presence is still felt by those who venture into the old fort after dark. High in the mountains of Arizona lies the once bustling mining town of Jerome. Now a ghost town in its own right, Jerome was once known as the wickedest town in the West. But as the mining boom came to an end, so did much of the town's prosperity. However, one building has remained a constant, its shadow looming over the town like a reminder of the past. This is the Jerome Grand Hotel. Originally built in 1926 as the United Verde Hospital, the building has a long and dark history. During its years as a hospital, many miners and residents who were injured in the dangerous mining operations were treated within its walls. Some never left. Over the years, the hospital became notorious for its high mortality rate, with many patients meeting their untimely end in its halls. In 1994, it was converted into a hotel, but the spirits of its former patients seem to have stayed behind. Guests at the Jerome Grand Hotel have reported hearing strange noises in the night, disembodied voices, footsteps echoing through empty hallways, and the sound of gurneys rolling down the floor, despite no hospital equipment being present. One of the most famous ghostly residents is said to be Claude Harvey, a man who died in a mysterious elevator accident in 1935. Guests claim to have seen Claude's apparition standing near the elevator. The ghost stories of the Old West have endured for generations, becoming a part of American folklore that continues to captivate audiences. But why do these stories still persist in modern media? What is it about the haunted frontier that keeps us coming back? Part of the allure lies in the nature of the Old West itself. It was a place of extreme danger, lawlessness, and uncertainty, where life could be taken in the blink of an eye. The isolation, the violence, and the rough conditions all created fertile ground for ghost stories to take root. In many ways, the Old West was a land where the boundary between life and death seemed thinner, where the spirits of the past could easily bleed into the present. Additionally, the legends of the Old West tap into deeper cultural themes, revenge, justice, loneliness, and the search for redemption. Ghosts of outlaws, lawmen, and lost loves reflect the unfinished business of a violent and chaotic time, and they offer a way for us to process the darker aspects of our history. In modern media, these stories continue to thrive because they evoke a sense of mystery and nostalgia for a time long gone, yet still present in the cultural imagination. From movies and TV shows to books and podcasts, the ghost stories of the Old West remain a compelling reminder that the past is never truly dead and that its spirits still walk among us. Thank you for joining us tonight at Phantom Astronaut's Midnight Mystery School. If these ghostly tales of the Old West have sent a chill down your spine, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Your support helps keep this Midnight Mystery School alive, allowing us to continue exploring the strange and the supernatural. For more ways to support the channel, check the links in the description below. And this has been Midnight Mystery School. I'll see you out there.
And I will see you out there.